Did you ever stop to ponder how England came to be the nation we know today? It's a tale that begins thousands of years ago in a time when the landscape of this now familiar nation was vastly different. The earliest inhabitants of England were the Celts, a group of tribes that shared similar languages, religious beliefs, traditions, and culture. They were an artistic people, known for their intricate metalwork and their deep spiritual connection to the land. Then in the 1st century AD, the Romans invaded. They brought with them a host of innovations, transforming the Celtic lands into a province of their vast empire. They built roads and walls, some of which still stand today, and introduced new technologies and systems of government. They also left an indelible mark on the English language, with many Latin words still in use today. But Rome's grip on England wouldn't last forever. By the 5th century, the Romans had withdrawn, leaving the country open to invasion from a new wave of settlers, the Anglo-Saxons. These Germanic tribes brought with them their own languages, which would eventually merge to form Old English, the language of Beowulf, and the earliest English poetry. The Anglo-Saxon period was a time of great change for England. Kingdoms rose and fell, Christianity spread, and the English language evolved. The Anglo-Saxons also left behind a wealth of literature and art, providing us with a glimpse into their world and their mindset. Indeed, the seeds of what would become England were sown during these early eras. From the artistic Celts, to the innovative Romans, to the language-forming Anglo-Saxons, each group played a crucial role in shaping the nation. It's a rich tapestry of cultures and influences that continues to impact England to this day, a testament to the enduring power of history. But what happened after the Romans left England, you might wonder? Well, let's fast forward to the year 1066. This is the year when England's history took a dramatic turn with the invasion of the Normans, forever changing the course of the nation. The Normans, originally Vikings from Scandinavia, had settled in northern France in a region known as Normandy. Led by their ambitious and cunning leader, William the Conqueror, they crossed the English Channel and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings on October 14th, 1066. This significant event, known as the Norman Conquest, had a profound impact on England, reshaping its culture, language, governance, and architecture. As we delve further into the Middle Ages, another milestone moment in English history emerges: the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215. This was a charter of rights agreed to by King John, which limited the power of the monarchy and laid the foundation for modern democracy. The Magna Carta is considered one of the most important documents in the history of political liberty. The Middle Ages also witnessed the devastation of the Black Death, a deadly plague that swept across Europe in the 14th century, wiping out between 1/3 and 1/2 of England's population. This catastrophic event brought about significant social and economic changes, with labor shortages leading to increased wages and improved living conditions for the surviving peasants. The period also saw the protracted conflict known as the 100 Years' War between England and France, which spanned from 1337 to 1453. While England initially had the upper hand, France eventually emerged victorious, marking the end of English territorial ambitions in France and the decline of feudalism. The Middle Ages were a period of great change, setting the stage for the Age of Exploration. From the Norman Conquest to the signing of the Magna Carta, the ravages of the Black Death, and the 100 Years' War, England's history was marked by conquest, resilience, and transformation. How did this small island nation become a global power? A question that sends us back in time to the Age of Discovery. This was a period stretching from the 15th to the 17th century when European nations, including England, embarked on voyages across the world's uncharted waters. England's journey to global prominence was marked by its establishment of colonies in far-flung corners of the world. As explorers bravely ventured into the unknown, they laid the foundations for what would become a sprawling global network of territories. From the rocky coasts of North America to the sun-drenched landscapes of Australia, England's influence began to grow far beyond its own shores. Now let's take a moment to highlight a key player in this grand narrative, the East India Company. Founded in the early 17th century, this English company was the catalyst for England's expansion into the Indian subcontinent. It started as a modest trading enterprise dealing in spices, silk, indigo dye, saltpeter and tea. But over time it evolved into a quasi-governmental entity, exercising significant control over vast regions of India. The East India Company's success prompted a surge in similar ventures. Before long, English companies were trading in the Caribbean, Africa and the Americas. These trading outposts gradually morphed into colonies, marking the beginning of the British Empire. An empire on which it was famously said, "The sun never sets." Through these colonies, England amassed immense wealth and resources. The colonies provided raw materials for England's industries, while also serving as markets for finished goods. This symbiotic relationship fueled England's economic prosperity and propelled it to the forefront of global power dynamics. It was through exploration and trade that England began its journey from a small island nation to a world power. This period of expansion not only reshaped the global map, but also left an enduring impact on the cultures, economies and histories of countries around the world. Through exploration and trade, England was on its way to becoming a world power. The seeds of global influence were sown and the stage set for the rise of one of history's most formidable empires. So how did England transform from a rural society to an industrial powerhouse? Well, let's start by stepping back into the late 18th century, when the Industrial Revolution began to reshape England's economic and social landscape. This was a time of rapid technological advancements, with steam power and mechanized textile production leading the way. Imagine countryside teeming with smokestacks as factories sprouted up across the land. The hum of machinery and the clatter of looms became the symphony of progress. But it wasn't just about machines. The Industrial Revolution fundamentally changed how people worked and lived. Rural folk migrated to towns and cities in droves, seeking employment in the burgeoning factories. This shift from agrarian life to industrial work brought about dramatic changes. Living conditions were tough, and the struggle for workers' rights began to take shape. But despite the challenges, this era marked a significant leap forward in England's economic growth. As we transition into the Victorian era, we find Queen Victoria ascending the throne in 1837. Her reign, the longest of any British monarch until Queen Elizabeth II, was marked by continued industrial growth and the expansion of the British Empire. Under her rule, England saw remarkable advancements in various fields, from science to the arts. The Victorian era was also a time of societal evolution. The introduction of public education, the expansion of the suffrage movement, and a focus on public health issues all hint at a society in transition. Yet it was not just about progress on the home front. The Victorian era was also a time of imperial expansion. As England's power grew, so too did its empire, reaching the far corners of the globe. This period of expansion brought wealth, but it also brought controversy and conflict. And so we see the transformation of England from rural society to an industrial powerhouse. A journey marked by technological innovation, societal changes, and imperial ambitions. The Victorian era was a time of unprecedented growth and change for England. But what about England in the 20th and 21st centuries, you might ask? Well, let's dive right in. The early part of the 20th century was marked by two world wars that shook the entire globe, and England was no exception. World War I saw the country lose over 800,000 lives, a devastating blow that left scars on a nation. Following the end of the war, England saw a period of economic struggle and social change. Then came World War II, a conflict that brought even more destruction to England's doorstep. Cities were bombed, lives were lost, but the spirit of the English people remained unbroken. It was a time of unity and resilience, a testament to the nation's strength and determination. In the aftermath of the wars, England underwent significant changes. The post-war period was a time of rebuilding and transformation. The National Health Service was established, providing free healthcare to everyone. This was a major milestone in England's social history, demonstrating a commitment to the welfare of its people. Then, as the embers of the wars cooled, England began to decolonize. Nations that were once part of its vast empire gained independence, reshaping the global map. England's role in the world was changing, but it remained influential on the international stage. In the 21st century, England continues to play a significant part in global affairs. It is a leading player in science, technology, arts and culture. Its capital, London, is a global city, home to diverse communities and a hub for finance, fashion and innovation. So there you have it. From the devastating wars of the 20th century to the milestones of the post-war period, from the process of decolonization to its role in the modern world, England's story is one of transformation and resilience. From its early days to the present, England's history is a fascinating journey of discovery, growth and resilience.